Guys, how we doing? I'm Ryan Mack. Welcome back to Trading Guys, and today we are going to go through fundamentals again. So let's just have a look and see what we've got here. Where was it last week? Right, easy. Okay, let's mark this. Oh, right, there it is there. Let's mark this down. So, as always, guys, you're going to be writing currency strengths, strong, weak, and neutral. Okay, in that order. Don't write strong, neutral, and weak, which I know is more natural because you're going down that thing. But the reason why we do strong, weak, and then neutral is because once we get to the end of it, we see which economies are strong, which economies are weak, which economies are neutral. We ignore the ones which are neutral, we just leave them alone, and we trade a strong economy with a weak economy. That is what's going to give you either your uptrend or your downtrend. All right. Can you trade the rest of them? Yes, you absolutely can. You could trade a strong against a neutral against a weak, absolutely, but it's just not going to give you that high probability of a good strong trend, whereas a strong economy against a weak economy will give you that higher probability, not guarantee, because nothing is guaranteed in trading, but it does give you that higher probability of a stronger trend. Okay, so currency strength, strong, weak, and neutral. And remember, my opinions on this strong, weak, and neutral, it comes from, it's based upon, sorry, not comes from, it's based upon the longer time frame, i.e. the overall grand scheme of things. It's not based upon, that was this week bad news and the week before that good news and fucking chopping and changing their direction all the time. That's just normal market movement, right? You're just going to get that normal market movement, but the overall is going to be like this. So you might get good news this week, bad news that week, good news this week, bad news that week, but I don't change it strong to weak. You change it based over the year. You know, is it going up or is it coming down overall, right? Based on the long-term stuff. I will cover the short-term time frame as well. We'll come across to here. I haven't looked at it yet, but I'll click on one of these and then it'll show you the actual bias, you know, as I haven't seen it yet. But let's see. Sometimes it lines up and sometimes it doesn't. It doesn't matter if it doesn't line up because these guys here, they're basing it on what's happening today, tomorrow, you know, up until Friday, whereas I'm basing it on what is the market looking like for the next 3 to 6 months. Okay, so that's the kind of difference here. Normally, I prefer to look here for my data, trading economics. I prefer to look here because it gives you far more information. And like, see when it says here 10 a.m. it comes out. Well, when you look here, roughly, immediately, sorry, at 10 a.m. the data will be out, the numbers will be out. Whereas if it's here and it says 10 a.m. and you look at it at 10 a.m. it will still be like that, spinning round, kind of loading up, right? So you get a lot of far more information plus quicker information on here. The reason why I use Forex Factory is because everyone is more familiar with Forex Factory, and when it comes to changing the countries, I can just click on this and just change them really quickly. When it comes to this one, it's a pain in the arse. Look, countries, look, it's a pain in the arse to change them, right? That's why I don't even bother. That's why I use this. But when it comes to during the week, I will get my data from Trading Economics. All right, now let's have a look at, that's last week. So, as you know, I always do one currency pair apart from AUD, China, and NZD. I do them all together, okay? I'm actually going to go back a week again because 2 weeks ago I was away in the jungle for like 4 or 5 days doing a recce for next year's jungle phase event. I'm running an event next year with ex-SAS and ex-SBS, Ollie Alton and Lindsay Bruce, to give people that experience of what is it like to operate in the jungle during Special Forces jungle selection, because they've got 3 selections, right? The hills, the jungle, and then resistance to interrogation. The one that people are always dying to know about is, what the fuck was the jungle like? Was it really as hard as everyone says? Because it is a really hard fucking... it's a really hard place to operate, a really hard environment to operate in. Even just walking with a bag and trying to keep your... you're going to be soaking wet all day, trying to keep your feet from getting trench foot and getting fucking brittle and getting any cuts on you and then stopping infection. It's honestly, it's pure fucking graft, just simply walking through the jungle trying to keep yourself right. You know, I can't even imagine the guys doing it for 6 weeks in military conditions. Anyway, NZD, let's see what we've got here. Bearish. It's dropped, but it's as anticipated, so that's still kind of neutral. Bearish. Bullish. It is dropping though. We have to. Some of them are dropping. That's increased. That's dropping. The cash rate is AUD has remained the same in terms of central bank rates. Building consents bullish for NZD. Bearish. US government, yeah, that was impacted. So remember, there was a lot of data we didn't get because the US government should shut down. Look, same again, right? So a lot of numbers can vary, especially when looking at the US data in a moment. Let's see what we've got from last week. Bearish. So, now this is fantastic. If you watch my last video, the one just before this one, I already covered this, right? You'll see that I covered saying, it says here the previous was at 3%, and we had forecast a rate cut at 2.75%. And I was explaining that when people see rate cuts, they think, oh, that's bearish. And then what happens is, if we get the rate cut and it actually comes in at 2.75, the market might do nothing, or the market might actually fly. And you think, well, why the fuck is that flying if it's just a rate cut? Because it was already priced in at forecast, right? The market moves bearish during surprise data, right? Now, surprise data is this. This is surprise data. So you've probably got a big bearish move on this at that particular time when this news was released, all right? Because everyone had priced in and was anticipating a cut of 25 base points, and they actually got a cut of 50 base points, which is a shock. It's a shock surprise to the market, right? So you would have no doubt got a bearish reaction here. Let's just have a look and see if we did, because I wasn't here. What date was that one again? Let's just check. The 8th of October. Let's just see the 8th of October. Oh, there we go. Look, Wednesday, 8th of October. Boom. Bang, bearish reaction right here. Right, you see that? Look. Bang, you got that big pin. See that there? I'm going to zoom in. This is the daily time frame, and this candle here is the candle on the 8th of October. Look, bang, you got that big, massive bearish momentum going down, right? So that is a result of this, because it was a shock to the system. People weren't expecting it, all right? Bearish. Bullish. Okay, let's see what we've got coming up this week. Oh, sorry, that was this week, sorry. Because it hasn't changed. It changes every Sunday. Bearish. Well, I mean, it's still positive, but it is dropping. That's because of the Trump had imposed 100% tariffs onto China, and whatever he puts onto China massively affects AUD and NZD. All right, massively affects them. Well done. If you took my Aussie Japanese yen trade last 2 weeks, you would have been up around, if you held it to TP1, you would have been up around 4%, maybe even 5%, so well done. That was a good trade. CPI year on year, bearish. Bullish. So don't be fooled by it being red. It's bullish. It was at -11. Now it's at +14. It just didn't come in as high as forecasted, so they've made it red. Okay, but that's bullish. Don't get mistaken. Don't get caught out by that. Unemployment rate is bearish because it's increasing as well, right? And that's for who? Oz. Yeah. Let's see what we've got coming up next week. Hurry up. CPI, GDP, retail sales, credit card spending, flash services. Yeah, so we've got a fair bit of news next week that we want to see. All right, what did I have? Has it changed there? Strong. Yeah, for now I'm going to be changing things up slightly because of the whole tariff thing, etc. AUD was previously in strong. I'm now putting it to neutral because we really need to see some stability, guidance, and direction as to where it's going to go from here, right? NZD I'm keeping in weak because it's just shit. And China, we don't mark China because we don't trade it. However, another one in neutral is CHF, Swiss franc. That's just because it's always in neutral, right? Because it never changes based on data. The Swiss franc, it changes based on market sentiment, which is either risk on sentiment or risk off sentiment, all right? You always trade it based on that. You don't really trade it based on fundamentals because the data never really changes for that. Let's have a look at the week before this week as well. Okay. What we on? Oh shit, why is that there? NZD. Okay, my bad. It should just be Canada. Bearish, bullish, bullish, and still strong bullish because it hadn't increased, so that's looking quite good for Canada. Again, the Canadian economy is fucked, so you don't just change it based on 3 bits of good news, right? You need the whole big picture. Bearish, 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 bullish, bullish. Let's see what we've got next week. We've got IPPI, RMPI, we've got CPI next week, so we definitely want to see that. We've got retail sales and core retail sales, we definitely want to see that. What did I have previously? I think I had CAD in week, didn't I? Because oil's still doing shit. As well, yeah, yes, I had CAD in a week, okay. And it will remain, for now, in week. I'm not really changing that. Moving on. CHF, I don't even bother looking at it. Sorry, China, I've already done. Euro. Bearish. Bullish. Still bearish, but getting better. Just took a massive jump. Bearish. Bearish, bullish, bearish. So Euro for the last couple of weeks has been weak bullish. Let's have a look and see what we've got here in case we've still got the same, or if we've got potentially moving to neutral for the time being, right? Bullish. It hasn't moved, so that's quite bullish. Even if it's stagnant, it's bullish, a mild bullish, but it's still showing strength, right? If it hasn't dropped, it's still showing strength, but that's only month on month, remember? Bearish, bearish. Bullish, bullish, strong bullish, okay. Next week we have got services, manufacturing, PMIs that we want to see. Yeah. Yeah, next week we pretty much just got PMIs, alright. So let's see what happens there. I'm going to keep it in strong for now because CPI, etc. is still really up there, really holding firm. So I'm going to keep it strong for now. However, same as the last couple of weeks, it's a weak bullish, okay? It's not flying, but it's still strong. It's still holding in there. So, in my opinion, it's still weak bullish for now. And remember, if you look on a euro pair and it looks like next week euro's coming down, you're like, oh, he said that was weak bullish. Yeah, it's just a normal pullback, remember? We're not talking about individual movements. Obviously, if a market's going up, it still comes down and gives you a pullback, right? Then you enter it and then it goes, right? So it's still overall still strong. Right. Pound. Bearish, getting better. Bearish. People have drawn equity from their home. Wow. Halifax, bearish. Bearish. Pound not looking too good that week. Retail sales monitors is bearish. Retail sales has dropped. Average earnings has increased, which is bullish. Claimant count change has increased, which is bearish. Unemployment rate, unemployment rate has increased, which is bearish again. Bullish, bearish, bearish, stagnant, bullish, bullish. Okay, so you've got mixed data there, right? Whenever you get, bullish, bearish, bearish, bullish, blah, blah, it's just mixed data. Let's see what we've got for next week. CPI, core CPI, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we've got CPIs and we've got PMI for next week that we want to see. So for now, I'm actually going to keep pound in strong, but exactly the same as euro. It's going to be weak bullish, okay? I'll determine if it's going to change next week by the CPI data, the year on years, right? Is it swaying to the going into neutral or going into bearish for a time being, or whatever? So yeah, that for now is strong. Okay, Japanese yen. We've only got two more to do. Japanese yen and USD, guys, never done. I'll jump across and I'll show you the markups on the thingy. I had a guy last week mail me on Discord. He's not part of the group, but he just sent me a DM and he's like, "Man, I'm in buys for oil. Do you think it's going to come back up?" And I was just like, no, why the fuck would you buy oil? Look, why the fuck would you buy it? Well, you could say it's in a position of value to buy from, but you're not buying it based on data. Look, he was already here, and he's talking about, I'm in buys. Why are you in buys? It's fucking coming down. It's fucking coming down. You're looking for sales. This is why I don't take counter trend trades, guys. I don't bother taking these little ups here. I don't fucking bother taking them. Look, up. I just wait until it gets to a high position. If I'm looking for sales, look at that where that red arrow is. That's where I entered the last one, and I fucking closed it out here. And look, it still could have kept going. I closed it out here because obviously this is a solid bottom. However, and I was going away that week, so I just thought, fuck, I'll just close it. But yeah, I entered here, I closed it here, bang, bang, straight on the fucking money, and away we go. But he was in a buy down here. Now, there is that argument where, look, you could have. I mean, I think I actually entered the buy from here. So there's the argument that you're in an area of value to buy from, but you're not in a buyer's market for oil. You're in a seller's market. It's fucking bearish, right? Look at the price of it, fucking 57. It's shit. So yeah, I just don't counter trend trade, guys. There's no fucking point. Yes, you get the odd win, but more often than not, unless you're scalping, of course, if you're a scalper, then you can just ignore what I'm saying right now because it's not relevant to how you trade. You know what I mean? You're only catching 10, 20 pips. I'm talking about guys that want to enter a trade, fuck off for 3 weeks, and come back and they've got 800 pips. You know, that's the difference. Yeah, I even sent a lad a screenshot just saying, look, buying oil is fucking suicide. GPI household spending has increased, bullish, average massively bearish, that's fucking halved. Current account bullish, bearish, bullish, bullish, bullish. Still quite strong. This doesn't make the Japanese yen strong, guys, alright? It just gives it a little bit of strength during those days or during that week. But overall, the Japanese economy isn't that good. It is fighting its way back, all fairness to it, but it's still shit. Bullish, bearish. Still bearish, but it's getting much better. Looks like a massive jump. Didn't quite reach what they expected. And bearish. This week, what we got, and next week coming up, IMF meetings, trade balance, CPI, manufacturing. Yeah, okay, we want to see those. So for me, Japanese yen is still weak, guys. Yes, it's had a little bit of fucking intraday, intra-week strength. That's normal. If something's coming down, it's going to have a little bit of strength to pull it back up, and then it'll start fucking melting again, right? It's just normal market behaviour. Let's go USD. Let's see. Bearish. I don't really care about that. Well, I mean, it's bearish for oil because there's more demand. There's more supply than there is demand. Consumer sentiment bullish, bearish. Okay, let's see next. Bearish, bullish, bearish, bullish, bullish. Okay. We still don't have a lot of data, look, because the US government shut down, so a lot of this won't really be up to date data. A lot of it's probably going to be tweaked later on when they reopen government. All right, so you need to be aware of that. Next week we've got CPI. Okay, CPI and PMI next week. Next Friday, so just be aware of that. And Trump has imposed 100% fucking tariffs on China. That's what gave you that big stupid move last week. I'm just going to keep USD in neutral until we get more clear direction and more clear information as to what's actually happening there. Alright, that's all I'm going to do. So that is it based on currency pairs. Just to round it off, I have got strong Euro, Pound, weak NZD, CAD, Japanese Yen, and neutral AUD, CHF, and USD. Let's take a look at some other stuff here. Let's just see what these guys have got. I'm just going to click on any random one. I haven't looked at this yet. I never look at this before I do my own review, because what happens is you can sit here all day and say, oh yeah, well, if I look at it, it won't affect my decision making. It will affect your decision making. Subconsciously it will, because you'll be like, I think fucking Euro is a weak bullish, and then you come here and it will say bearish, and you'll be like, you know, if you do this first and then go into that, you'll be like, oh, but that says bearish, and you'll be second guessing yourself. So I just don't fucking do it. There we go. Look, Euro is still weak bullish. USD weak bearish. I've got it in neutral, so we're quite similar. GBP weak bullish, similar again. CAD weak bearish. What have I've got it in weak, yeah. AUD neutral. Yep, I've got it in neutral. NZD weak bearish. I've got it in weak. Japanese Yen weak bullish. I've got it in weak. That's so we're opposites on this one. That's because these guys do it based on like right now. Obviously, it got good data last week, so it is going to give you that strength, that little bit of bullishness. And so it's not wrong, you know. It's just that we have different ways of how we look at the market. These guys are looking at it today and this week, and I'm looking at it over the next fucking 3 months. All right. So there's nothing wrong with that being different. It's just nice if it's like, oh well, it matches the same on a weekly as what it does the longer time frame. CHF weak bullish. Now CHF is weak bullish. Why? Because markets are risk off. People don't want to take risk. Putting their money into risk on assets like USD, Bitcoin, and so on. They're putting it into risk off assets. Risk off asset is what? Japanese Yen, weak bullish. CHF, weak bullish. NZD, that's still bearish because it's just fucked. What else? Gold. Gold is absolutely fucking flying. Silver is flying. So they put it into these kind of assets. All right. Now let's just go. So what am I doing? Let's just go and we'll start from top to bottom, going through these currency pairs and see what we've got. This is the daily time frame. I normally do it based on the weekly time frame. However, when we want to look a little bit closer, I look at the weekly and the 4 hour. I would be taking, if this comes here, bang, I could be taking buys from here. Or, you know, I could also be taking buys from down here. I don't mind either or, this one or this one. I don't mind. So let's just basically see what it does. AUD CHF, yeah, I wouldn't be buying that. I'm just going to leave it. AUD Japanese Yen, so we already caught this from here. Sorry, I'm talking absolute shit. we already caught this from here. Just below, right here we caught it. I didn't take it on this one. I did fucking get rid of that. Right here we caught it. Fuck off. Why is that there again? Okay. Try again. Right here we caught it, and it just absolutely fucking flew. I think I got out round about here. This one here. It came back and hit my stop loss, but then obviously it's came up. So if you held it, I was up over 2%, and if you held it all the way, you'd have been up probably over 4%. So well done. And yes, look, here's my area for taking it back down. I wouldn't have sold this. However, it is an area of value to sell from, and as you can see, it's played out exactly where we've marked up, right? It's played out again here, exactly where we've marked up. It's not rocket science. So I will potentially enter this week. I'm not in any rush to take this, right? Because they're pretty shit. AUD being, wait, I get rid of this. AUD being kind of neutral just now. What you might find, let's just jump down. Yeah, look. What you might find is, boom, boom, boom. This might happen. Bish, bash, bosh, right? Let me just change. There you go. That might happen, okay? So you might get this. Boom, boom, boom. So let's see. It all depends on what happens with these tariffs and so on and so forth, okay? So no rush to enter that one. AUD USD. Again, it's a hard one. It's two neutral fucking pairs right now. No, there's nothing there. Nothing there yet. Nothing there yet. I would only be taking sells. Nothing there yet. I would only be taking buys. I just wouldn't buy from there. It's just way fucking overstretched. You need it to pull back so you've got good value to buy it from again, alright? Euro USD, I'm only really, yeah, there's nothing there. Look how long it's been stagnant for, look. Bum, 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 look, it's just been ranging since fucking July 2025. July 2025, it's been fucking ranging, guys. It's done fuck all, right? I would, look, it's actually done it. Broke above, came down, broke above, came down, bang, and away it goes. Broke above, came down, bang, and away it goes. So as it has actually played out, it's not a very good trade. Pound Canada is buys. Let's go back to it. Sorry, Pound Canada is buys, but you wouldn't fucking buy from here. It's, you know, it's at a previous high. You need that pullback to go, and it's not giving you a deep enough retest, in my opinion, to really warrant taking it. GBP CHF, nothing there. This is definitely buys, but it hasn't done fuck all yet. I mean, sorry. Buys again, but you need a pullback, guys. You can't buy it from here. It either has to break above here, come down, retest here, and then go, or it needs to pull down here, retest here, and then go. You cannot enter a buy just now, right? And you wouldn't enter a sell because that'd be fucking suicide. GBP USD again, excuse me, stagnant. I wouldn't touch it. NZD CAD, that was good from here. Look, bang, free hits, free opportunities we had. Nah, I wouldn't touch anything here. Again, boom, boom. I think twice we've hit this. See it there? Small candle, large engulfing, breaks away, boom, boom, boom. Same again, look, bang, bang, away it goes. Brilliant. In fact, we actually called it here, and then I think Big Andre got in here, and they got in here again as well. So yeah, well done if you've held that, Andre, mate. SD card, USD CHF. There's fuck all. So I'd be buying this. I wouldn't be selling it. I'd be buying it, but you need to wait. See what it does. Let's have a look at the dollar index. Yeah, it's still bouncing around here. So let's have a look at oil. Again, you'd be selling that. Now, you can't sell from here. There's no value to sell from. When you're looking at the charts, always say to yourself, if in doubt, zoom out, right? If you're like this the whole time, I'll do it. You can't really see fuck all, right? If in doubt, zoom out and give you that whole big picture. So, In terms of oil from here, I would never sell it in a million years from here, right? Because there's no value to sell it from, and you're at an all-time low, right? One of them, I know it goes lower over here to the left, but so far you're at an all-time fucking low, right? Over the last couple of years. You can't sell from there. You either need to wait for one of two things. You need to wait for it to go back up, retest this zone here, the previous support, once broken, becomes the new resistance, right? Boom, boom. You need to wait for it to hit here. Then you can enter it here, right? And then you can fucking take it down. Boom, boom, boom. Right? You could, oh, I've got to sneeze. Re-enter here. Or, you're waiting for it to burst through here. Previous support, once broken, becomes the new resistance. Bang, bang. And then in that case, your entry is going to be here. So your entry is either going to be here, or it's going to be here. That is it. Anything outside of these 2 points, you do not give a flying fuck what happens. You're not. This will help you avoid FOMO on so many fucking levels. I'm telling you. You're either entering the market as it comes up and retests here, or you're entering it as it breaks and retests here. Anything outside of these 2 moves, you do not fucking touch it. You just, pardon me, just let it play out. Gold. I mean, you're experiencing fucking history on gold right now. I was waiting for a pullback. We just didn't get it. Just went, fuck off. Silver. Same again, just a pullback. Copper. Yeah, I really want copper. We can move this now. So look, copper's broke above this high. Once the previous resistance is broken, it becomes the new support. Alright, so we're now... Hey. We can now... Oh, fuck off. I'm just going to close that. We can now look at this. Bish, bash, bosh. Right. I'll change it to green. There we go. I'll put a little alert in there. Come on, right. Gonna move it. Aye. There we go. Put that alert about there. And that's it. I'm not going to look at bonds and stuff. Let's have a look at indices. Yeah, look. So see this, look. See when everyone last week was screaming about, oh my god, the markets have crashed. Yeah. Excuse me. When you're on the fucking 5-minute time frame, it looks like it's crashed. Look, oh my, what these fuckers do is, they'll show you this stupid fucking time frame. And they'll be like, oh my god guys, markets are crashing. What the fuck's happening? It's a fucking 5-minute time frame, you silly cunt. Look. Oh fuck, where are we now? Oh, there we go. Look at a weekly time frame. Right, look. Tell me, are we anywhere fucking near a market crash? Are we fuck? It hasn't done anything. It's just a fucking pullback. How is that a crash, right? How is that a crash and that's not a crash? You know? Fucking morons, that's why. It's just idiots, lads, going on a 5-minute and fucking 2-minute time frame, showing you these big massive drops and be like, oh my fucking god. I mean, the crypto guy that killed himself because Bitcoin had a pullback, you fucking idiot. What an absolute plank. Imagine if he just knew fundamentals, he'd still be alive right now, Joe. Because he's not a fucking walloper. Somebody's killed... Oh, let's just go to fucking Bitcoin. It's still massively buys on this. We will get a market crash. It's part of the fucking global thingy, right? Global fucking cycles. But look, somebody has killed themselves because Bitcoin did this. You know, it's fucking stupid. So why didn't you kill yourself when Bitcoin did that then? You fucking fool, you know? Idiots. Idiots. There it is, look, boom. Small candle, large engulf and break away. Come back to retest, bang, away it goes. Or, could also do this right here. Boom, could also come here. Here's the 2 potential spots it could come to. If you use the Fibonacci, you'll see which one is preferred. This one is the 500, which is still, that's a really, if it's a strong uptrend, it will reject here and go. This is my favourite down here at the 786. This is my fucking favourite. Bish, bash, bosh. If it comes here, you would enter it, and away you fucking go. Alright? Simples. 80% of the time, it happens every time. So that's us, guys. we don't have anything else really to look at for now. There's nothing much lining up for my method, but I'm sure there will be. Just have to wait a week or two and see how the markets plan out. Keep your eye on the whole China, USA, interest rates, tariff type stuff. See how that plays out. Don't be in any rush to trade, like USD pairs at the moment until you're pretty certain and confident, or you've listed out the highest probabilities of what can happen. Don't over risk. Don't over trade. Just if you don't have your setup, don't try and find something that's there. Just be like, don't be looking for something. Think, fuck, that could be it. It's either if you can't look at your screen and be like, boom, there it is right there, that's my setup, then it isn't your setup unless you've done that, right? Unless you've been like, that's it, fucking there it is, I can see it, clear as day, then it isn't your setup and you're just fucking, you're chasing bubbles, right? You're never going to catch them. That's it, guys. So I hope these videos are beneficial for you, and yeah, have a great week.